Alrighty, so the question is, why am I not getting results? The answer is, notice how you are feeling impatient. Because there's an attitude that you need here, and the attitude's this. That, by the way, there are some wins that happen instantly. And there are some that take time. Right now it's 5:41 a.m. Lunch is going to take some time. Because we don't eat lunch until lunchtime. Doesn't mean it's a big wish. Doesn't mean it's a hard wish. It just means it's 5:41 a.m. We've got a group call with the Remarkable team shortly. And lunch is later. No big deal. See, when I imagined up citizenship, that took a little time. The cool thing is I knew it would happen before it should, right? I didn't know how. And it did. It should have taken 2 more years. I got citizenship 2 years early. And what happened is they changed the law. How cool was that? And when I went in and did all the finality stuff, it could have taken up to another 9 months. I wasn't interested in that. I knew it would be quick, easy fun. It happened in like 9 weeks or something like that. It was fast. And yet it took years. Then there are the wins that are ongoing. I call those the ongoing emergent. We talk about and we explore those in Dream Driven Day. Happy loving husband, happy loving teacher, happy loving puppy dad. Those are not events, those are ongoing emergents. Every day the state emerges in a different way. The win continues. Now here's the thing. Abdullah told Neville, you went to Barbados and you went first class, and he slammed the door. That's called attitude. But when you get why Abdullah had that attitude, see, I get the attitude of Abdullah. I've been told that I am some weird combination of Neville, his brother, and Ab. Because even though Neville had a business, he did, look it up, he sold things, he charged money. I know some people don't like that, and I've had people tell me, I lost my faith in Neville when I found out he actually sold things and charged money. This is what you don't like. You don't like money? I don't get it. Right? Or is it you don't like charging? I don't get it. Or is it that you think the good things should be free and you should only charge for the baser worldly desires like hookers and whiskey? You see, I don't get it. Here's what I do get. The attitude. You got to get the attitude. Because the only way you can feel impatient, you see, here's the thing, ready? You can assert nothing's happening. But you don't have the right to do that. Your eyes are like 4 inches apart. Your ears are like 6 or 7. From top to bottom, I'm like almost 6 foot tall. And I can sense very little. It's dark outside right now. I cannot see the hillside that's across the stream. I can hear the traffic going down Kringle Drive. I can't hear anything that's happening in the city. It's too far away. I can imaginally hear my mom's voice, but physically I can't see her right now. It doesn't mean she doesn't exist. And here's the thing. Neville says all that you do, all that befalls you, comes from your state. And you can see very little. But I want to know, are you feeling your state completely? Because once I nailed the state of citizen, I just functioned like I was a citizen. I paid my taxes. I didn't vote because I wasn't allowed to. Now I have to vote. I'm not a fan of voting, by the way. One of the ways that I imagined up citizenship was voting. I imagined voting. You hear how thrilled I am. Right? This is not all happy, happy, joy, joy. What would my real reaction be to voting? Just what you hear in my voice right now. At some point, we're supposed to have an election coming up. Voting. They tell me it's a $200 fine if I skip. So there's a part of me that goes, radio, how long does it take to vote? Will that take an hour out of my day? How can I take that hour and make at least $200 so I can pay the fine and not worry about doing something I don't want to do? You get that comes from a state, that comes from an attitude. And you notice it's not me hoping. Well, if I could, well, maybe if I skip voting, maybe I can make $200 back, and maybe I can. I hope so. Hope is doubt. With you get it. Hope and doubt are the same thing. I doubt it's going to happen. I hope it's going to happen. One of them just has a little bit of icing and sprinklies on top. Neither one of them is I am. Now let's nail something, because walking around saying I am statements, that's silly. Noticing what you are actually declaring in the moment. I'm impatient. That means you don't feel it's happened. You don't feel that's you already. Time to surrender more. And by the way, I want you to have endless daily wins. When we made up manifestingmasterycourse.com, we noticed two kinds of people. One, those who have a lot of wins. Two, those that have a lot of hope. And those who have a lot of hope tend to be what we call someday manifestors. They feel someday it'll happen. Someday I'll have a win. Someday I'll have the big win that changes everything. There's a bunch of variations on this. I'm into everyday wins. When I moved into the state of citizen, my everyday way of being changed. It took a while for citizenship to show up, but no big deal. And the way it happened, some of you have heard about me meeting up with a South African lady. She was the one that let me know, hey, you don't got to wait another 2 years. You could do it today. And know what I did? Today. I filed the paperwork. That day. Many moons ago. So with your limited physical senses, you've got no right and or ability to go, nothing's happening. The only thing you can check is your reactions. Do your reactions reveal you're in state? If you're not in state, guess what? Nothing's happening. When you're in state, everything is taking the course that it needs to. Ready? It's 5:47 in the morning. I'm imagining up Victoria's yum for lunch. Can you hear it? Yum. See, I'm imagining Victoria's yum for lunch. I'm imagining how I would feel hearing her yum for lunch. And by that simple, tiny little seeming imaginal act, over the next couple hours, everything associated with lunch will simply happen. One of us will cook. Both of us may or may not pick out what it is. Tends to be salmon on Mondays, just what we do, but we were talking last night about something different. You DDD kids know different is better than better, and here's one more. Nothing's happening. See, that's called pressure. If you're trying to make your life better, that's a great way to build pressure in. I'm not a fan of it. I'm a fan of different. You see, when I hear someone saying something that I don't like, I imagine hearing something different as they're speaking. I don't wait to do a session that night. I don't schedule it in for the weekend. I don't rip out the shopping list. You go, what's wish number 37? Time for me to imagine that up. When something is not going my way, I imagine as it's happening, something different. Before I get out of bed, my Joseph Goddard, are you doing these things? Before I get out of bed, my Joseph Goddard. 5 to 10, 6 to 12, specific events of today already having gone my way. See, I imagined up having done a great podcast, and then the subject shows up an hour later, and then your emails show up for weeks. 20, I loved the podcast you did on Nothing's Happening. Why isn't anything happening? I love that podcast. Made a difference for me. Because here's the deal. Abdullah slammed the door. He didn't tell Neville to hope. He didn't tell Neville to stop doubting. He said, you've gone to Barbados and you went first class. See, first class has a feeling associated with it. Went has a feeling associated with it. If you climbed up the stairs to go visit Abdullah, you climbed up the stairs, past tense. You could feel the burn in your legs. If you went to Barbados and you went first class, what would you feel? Would it be memories? Would it be fondness? We all know what a memory feels like. So here's what I do. I encourage you to play. Don't go to war against what seems not to be happening. Notice what are you really feeling. Notice what you're really feeling. Your emotions, your reactions reveal your state. And play with a lot of wins. Play with that Joseph Goddard. I swear to God, that's probably the biggest game changer we've noticed for people. And it's free. Heck, you don't got to take a course to do that. I'd love it if you did. ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. People's lives change massively as they do that course. Some folks do it again and again. Tamika's done it a zillion times. Grant Monk and Alessandra are going through it again right now. A lot of the cool kids do that. You can join us in DreamDrivenDay.com in 4 days. And in 4 days it kicks off. 2/3 of the seats are gone. And in 4 days, well, why not join us? If you want to play in a group, there's 3 live group calls, 30 days of play, 30 people, private Facebook group if you want to join in. Some folks tell me, hey, I don't do Facebook. Can I still do the course? Absolutely. Don't let anything be an excuse. Why don't talk on group calls? You don't have to. You could listen. You could listen to the recordings. Doesn't matter. Don't let anything be an excuse. Dive deeper. Have fun. See ya.